which is that, is this a whole paradigm shift? And are we going to think about, or I agree that we should think about a more decentralized way of living. I think, for years, the fact that we have been attracted to focus and gather in cities, like in large cities, high density cities with high dependence on migrant populations, is not proving to be the way to live now. And there has been talk for the longest time about an urban design and urban planning approach that talks about townships, satellite towns. People, yes, they might move away from their villages, from rural environments, to for a more industrialized livelihood, a more semi-rural livelihood. But these have to now happen closer to where the home is. High density of cities with millions and millions of people is not going to be the way forward. So that brings into question a lot of recent possibilities that have been developed in the last 2 decades or 3 decades, which have been about high density development, transit oriented development. We've built metros, we've given higher FSIs on both sides of metros. They've almost become destinations and people attractors. And we've been talking about placemaking, where thousands of people can cohabit the same open spaces, the same office towers, the same metro lines, 50 floors up and 5 floors down under the ground. I think we will probably, in the aftermath of this pandemic, look back at more 50s, 60s planning in India especially, where we were looking at low-rise, high density. We were not so reliant on vertical transportation. And there'll be smaller townships, in some ways perhaps fostering a more intimate community life, which is more about neighborhood. And I think we might have to just revisit all of those concepts. I also think that whilst there was a lot of talk about a decentralized way of work when the entire onset of digital communication began, but I think we've really learned how to do that during this pandemic. And thus, I think decentralized living, using the digital medium to communicate, is going to create a new way of working as well. Now, I've been thinking a lot about like the different kind of work we do at Morphogenesis, and I've thought of how each of our discussions is going to change. So here is one of my discussions. So if we want to, for example, think about how is residential design going to change. So we've talked about high density, low rise. How about that every child, every adult living in a family is going to require a place that transforms into an office or into a workplace. So focus is probably, in my opinion, going to move away from enriching a house by adding more luxury materials, more expensive sort of interior decor, but instead more transformable spaces. Does the dining room become a conference table? Does it become one where the television becomes a video conferencing tool through the day and then a family entertainment tool in the evening? Do people need privacy from each other to live? Or do they need privacy from each other to work? So is it still going to be drawing room, family lounge, and bedroom, or is it going to be drawing room / conference room, bedroom / workspace? So, I think where space allows, there will be a lot of multitasking. In smaller residential homes, I think common areas will turn into sort of shared workplaces, which one leases out for a set of number of hours. And I think we are going to be more focused on choosing to buy apartments or rent apartments where we know there's a workplace available for us. So if it's not at home, it's near enough to home.